Abhilash?
Start madam. Ma'am,
Abhilash,
can you start?
I cannot hear you, Abhilash.
Ma'am, can you hear me? Hello. Hello. Am I audible? Okay. I guess we can start.
Abhilash, you can start, Abhilash. Yeah.
Okay. So, hey everyone, very good evening. Uh, I hope we have uh, students from second, third, and fourth years. So, I'll make sure at the end of this session, you all have something to take away from, some good insights, if that may suit to you. So I'll give a quick intro about myself. My name is Abhilash, and I'm currently in my final year pursuing BTech Computer Science with specialization in AI/ML. So the agenda for today's meet is to give a quick walkthrough of uh, how my academic journey started and how it transitioned into a professional journey. And I'll also give you a unconventional way of how to approach this career transition. And I'll also give some myths and facts that you would have heard. And finally, we'll go to the success mantras, some of them which I got to know throughout the process. So, my actual career started with the college. So, my CGPA is 9.98 till 6th semester. Although, in the first semester when I actually started, I was not very keen on maintaining CGPA, but once I started to realize slowly the potential of maintaining CGPA, which I'll talk about in the later slides, I started to make sure that I'm able to balance my studies and career. I'll just put one point here very clearly. CGPA is important, at least when you are there in your college, just so that you are visible to everyone, not just by your skills, but also by how you are able to do the first thing that you have to do when you're in college, that is to maintain your academics, right? So I was also the department rank one holder for third consecutive year, and I received performance based merit scholarship for first and second year. And in my 2 years of journey, I worked with the Center of Excellence for Agentic Twins, where I worked on industry use cases from organizations like Sentient Scripts, Renault Nissan, and Tata Steel, all of which were a good learning journey. I'll talk about more of that in the later slides. The next is I have done a total of 4 papers. I have submitted them to journals and conferences with high impact factor. And I also wrote a book chapter titled Transforming Healthcare Cybersecurity from Reactive to Proactive, and its current status and future recommendations for the book titled AI Driven Cybersecurity for Intelligent Healthcare Systems. So, my internship experiences, I'll talk about the most recent one first. So, I did join as a software developer intern at Bank of New York, and the category is Marketing. It was on campus, and the package was 22 LPS CTC with a stipend of 75,000 per month. Uh, for those who don't know what BNY is, they are a global financial services company, and they are the world's largest custodian, handling around $50 trillion in assets. So what I did there is I worked on certain tasks that was assigned to me, and I worked on some tasks that were not assigned to me as well. So the first task was to optimize the build pipeline that was going on with them. That was one good topic that I worked on. The next thing is I built Code Assist. So that is a BNY Copilot for internal frameworks. So basically, if you see GitHub Copilot, it has access to all the existing knowledge in the internet. But in organizations like BNY, they have certain internal frameworks that is only available to them. So you cannot go to Copilot and ask queries about those internal frameworks because it wouldn't be trained on that, right? So the idea was to build something for their internal use. Okay. So after that, I also worked on rewriting the legacy styles using material design components. And finally, I also asked them for one more task, which is to build Figma to code again for their internal design frameworks. Some of the key takeaways that I learned through this journey was to be open to learn. Why would I say this? Is that when I'm opening up to my juniors, peers, and the senior people who were there. They were very welcoming, and they wanted to help. So when you open yourself to learn, they would see the potential in you. Only when you open yourself to conversations, people will realize what potential you have. If you think that you don't have to approach anyone for help, even they wouldn't care to think, or they wouldn't care to know what you know or what you don't know, right? So learning mindset actually takes you to heights that you can never imagine, trust me. And the second thing is, staying curious and asking questions will really help you learn a lot. Staying curious means, so let us say you are assigned a particular task, right? um, if if say for example you don't know something in that task, you don't know how to go through it, you can just ask questions to the people who are actually mentoring you. No question is a wrong question. So when you ask question, you will actually learn it the right way. So you will actually know how to proceed with a particular problem, because there could be n number of ways to actually go through a particular problem or solve a particular problem. But asking the questions to the people will actually help you navigate and think better as an engineer. And one important thing that I learned is that software development is a lot more than just code. It's not just coding. So trust me, if you know coding and if you know how to do DSA, you know all these skills, it doesn't matter. It is just 30% of a lot more thing. You should be able to communicate well. You should be able to express your thoughts in such a way that the other person also understands. That is a lot more important than all the software development. So software development is not just coding, it is a lot more than that. And another thing that I would say is there is always room for improvement. So let us say you are doing a project, whatever it may be an internship or any other research project. You may think that you have achieved something, some milestone, right? But that is not the end. There is always room for improvement. You will only know that there is room for improvement when someone else lets you know that, okay, this is how you could have done it better, right? So these are some of the key takeaways from my internship at BNY. And before that, I did an internship at Zocket. They are an AI first ad tech startup. There it was totally different from how it was at BNY. So in BNY, the process is more organized. You will actually have design development, and you will actually have a lot more time to actually implement it. But then at Zocket, it's totally the opposite. You won't have time to design or anything. You will have to quickly iterate and ideate and implement it. So there I built Zocket's marketing OS with swarm of agents for ad set and campaign optimization. And it was mostly around agentic AI and how I could help them, build dashboards and applications which could actually provide insights into how to improve ad sets and campaign level insights. So there it was a big learning journey for me, because when I actually entered, there was very little time for me to get adapted to new technologies. As and when it comes, we have to learn it and implement it in almost no time. So some of the key takeaways here is, obviously quickly adapting to the organization's work pattern is very crucial, because it was not like how it used to be in uh, general organizations. As they are a startup, they have this very quick way of ideating and bringing it to prototype, and if it works well, they actually put it to production. That's how it works. So quickly adapting to that work pattern was very crucial. And since they are an AI startup, this AI first mindset is like very crucial for us. Even if you go to other organizations, AI first mindset is very important. Now, some may ask a question: why would someone use AI for everything, or why should we use AI, and what will happen to me if I keep using AI? But then there are so many startups that have realized that using AI to develop stuff and using AI as a pair programmer is actually going to boost their economy, boost their revenue. And it's up to you to use AI or not, but I would suggest you should use AI. I will talk about that the later slides. The next thing is, you should be able to quickly ideate, design high level architecture, and implement it. So that was the way this startup cycle was. And what I learned is, your idea may fail, but pivoting from that point to a quick alternative will definitely help you. So there was one such instance where they asked me to uh, develop a high level architecture for one of the insights dashboard, which is fully agentic. So I had certain ideas in my mind, and I went to them with a prototype. But then they completely asked 3 to 4 questions that completely put it down, and I had to pivot from that point to some other alternative. And that's where your presence of mind and your ability to think on the spot comes into picture. And after that, I also did my internship at ISRO as a research intern, where uh, the work was relatively more into research and not into quick prototyping and stuff. So there I actually worked on modeling an efficient wind retrieval system using geometric and surface parameters from GNSSR reflectometer. So there I used an approach to stack different models prediction to the final model. And the wind retrieval system that I made is currently being used in the microsat 2C satellite. Uh, so one good takeaway that I would say when I was doing intern at ISRO is that your idea or solution doesn't have to be complex to be unique. That hit me a lot there. So let us say that you have to implement an ML algorithm to solve a particular problem, right? You may think, okay, I am just implementing a random forest or some other algorithm here. That is too simple. So you may feel that you're not building anything different or unique, but that's not actually where the idea comes in. When you realize that when you implement simple algorithms that make actual impact, that is where it is unique. Making an impact is what is unique. It doesn't have to be new to be unique. Okay, that is one important thing that I learned. And then when I was working there, I actually uh, realized that all those math behind ML lectures finally came into use, because every single line of code that I wrote has to be very, very meaningful, because after all, it is very critical for them, uh, considering the space technology perspective. And I also did my internship as a machine learning engineer at Sony Tokyo. So this was part of a collaboration with SRM, where SRM received a total funding of approximately 13 lakhs for the research. What I did there, I'm still doing, continuing as an intern, but I'm leading a team of 4 people. So I developed surface defect detection algorithms and efficient detection pipeline for detecting non-invasive cracks on oil and gas pipelines. So it was more related to computer vision. And so one of the key takeaways from this internship is that we have to take time to learn, research, and compare alternatives, so that we can, as I said, there is always room for improvement. So we have to take our time to learn, research, and see what are the other alternatives that are there. So let us say there is an algorithm X and algorithm Y. So you should take time to learn both of them and maybe compare both, and try to see which one will be useful for particular use cases. So next up, my first internship in my college actually started with Samsung as part of Samsung Prism program. So it was when actually I didn't know what LLMs were and RAG were, but then one of the faculties came up to me through a workshop asking if you could actually implement and work on this. So I quickly had to study for this. So I'll tell what I did, and I'll then tell how it happened. So I implemented a compute efficient offers retrieval system for Samsung products from e-commerce sites. And I also contributed to developing RAGX, which is actually powered by dual phase path sampling to retrieve context from the database. So our team actually received the certificate of excellence because we were able to complete more than what they asked. So as I said, this was my first internship, right? What is my key takeaway? Never say no to opportunities. So that's when the opportunity came knocking the door. uh, I didn't know the technology that they asked me to. But if I had said no, fearing that I couldn't implement it, I wouldn't have had this journey that I had today. So whenever some opportunities come to you, never say no to that. You should always be open to any opportunities and adapt quickly to new technologies. Obviously, because I had to learn a new technology to work on that. So I used my winter holidays, 15 to 20 days, to consistently learn every day. I used to sit at least 2 to 3 hours to learn on this new technology. So that helped me a lot. As far as hackathons, I won the first place in Smart Campus Hackathon 2023 and second place in BNY Eliza Hackathon, which happened on an international level. And I also won third place in Standard Chartered Hackathon 2025. And our team also came into the top 0.01% in Amazon ML Challenge to 2024. And our team also came to the fourth place in CodeFest 2025, where we received an internship offer from SRM Technologies. And our team also secured top 100 in Mintra's Data Challenge 2024. So about hackathons, one thing is many people would ask, why should I participate in hackathons? Or there could be some people who have this question, why should I participate in hackathons? So what I would say is, when you team up with certain people, you will have this connect. So you have to connect with them. You have to make sure you understand others within that 24 hours, and you don't have to do it for the sake of the competition, right? You participate for the vibe. So you get to know that team. You have to quickly ideate and build a solution within 24 hours. That's where you actually learn how you build stuff, right? You don't have to know to actually participate in a hackathon. So you have to just get for it. Just go for it, right? You don't have to go for the price. Just go for the vibe. Just go in, and then let's see what happens in the next 24 hours. That should be the mindset that you have. In the worst case, you will have a good project in your resume and maybe tons of insights to take, how to develop and stuff. Best case is you win, or you may get lucky sometimes. But I would say participate as much as you can, because that's where you actually uh, get hands on, right? Instead of just being theoretical, learning lectures, seeing videos. That's where you actually get practical. You know how to do what would work, what would not work. All of that stuff you will get to know there. So this is how the BNY interview process went on. So I'll just quickly go through this. So initially there was resume and CGPA shortlisting. The criteria that was given by BNY was that the CGPA has to be greater than 7.5. I'll talk about CGPA more in the next slides. There should not be any active backlogs, and around 2,600 students applied for this role. And after which we had a coding assessment through HackerRank. Uh, we had 4 DSA questions to be solved in a duration of 2 hours. The questions were from arrays, string manipulation, and dynamic programming. Two of the questions were on easy to medium level, and two of the questions were medium to hard level. And then from all the 2,600 students, around 40 students were shortlisted for the interview process, which happened at Vendor Square. So we had a pre-placement talk where the company told about what they do, what are the employee benefits, and finally we had a quick Q&A session to ask them. After which we had the technical interview round one, which started with an introduction, and then introduction of myself, and then they started to ask questions on my resume. So they wanted to know what are the tech stacks that I worked on, and based on that, they actually asked me the questions, and they also gave a DSA question which was based on stack and linked list, and I solved it. So that went good, and they also asked in-depth questions on the tech stack that I worked on, and they also talked about the previous internships that I worked on, how I navigated through the course of internship, and they asked questions about how did you implement such some projects in such scalability, a bit of touch on high level design, and we had also had a conversation on LLMs. So the interview process actually went for 45 minutes to 1 hour. So in the round one, what helped me a lot is that the introduction that you give to them is actually the one that is going to drive the entire interview process. So let us say they ask you to introduce yourself, right? You should be saying what you are extremely strong at. So the interviewers doesn't know if you actually know stuffs or not. It is your responsibility to give it to them through your words and through the conversation that you do. That's when people get impressed, right? So it is really in your hands to drive the interview. You cannot tell that the interviewer was strict or they were lenient. They are just going to be like everyone else, right? So it's in your hands to actually drive the interview. So you have to tell the things that you are very strong at. You have to tell the things that you can answer if someone asks a follow-up question. So that should be the way to approach interviews. So after the technical round one, we had technical plus HR round two and round three with the director of the company. So that also started with the introduction, and since they mostly work on Java, they started to ask questions on core Java, like how would you design JVMs, JREs, low-level design aspects of it, and they asked more questions on the core concepts such as computer architectures, ML core, and there was a detailed questions based on the resume. So ML core, in the sense, they asked questions on how my intuition and how my understanding is behind the intuition of ML algorithms. And after that, there was the HR part of the question where they asked scenario based questions like if you are in a team, how would you resolve an issue, something like that. So this went on for 1 hour to 1 hour 10 minutes, and after which I actually got the offer letter. So for the interviews, it is, I wouldn't say it is pretty simple, but what I would say is that you have at least 70% of control in your hands, because most people I have seen actually give the interviewer the, what do you call that? So when you say your introduction, it should be so strong that they don't have any question to they don't have any option to ask questions that you don't know. So even when they ask questions that you don't know, it is your responsibility to pull them back into the stuff that you already know. So let us say, for example, they're asking some questions that you don't know answer to. You just have to pull them into your resume, saying, okay, so this is how I worked. I had this similar situation when I was in when I was working at one of the projects, or when I was actually doing my internship with some other company. So it is your duty to actually pull them into your resume, your comfort space, and that is not so hard to do. So if you are able to do that, half of the interview is already clear. Rest of them matters on how you answer the questions, right? So some of the golden resources that I followed, some of the golden resources that I would say that I followed. For DSA, I used Upno College and Stylus DSA sheet for Java. So I do DSA in Java. I practice problems in Lead Code, Geeks for Geeks Code Studio. I've solved around 150 to 200 problems overall. For development, I would say you can go with AWS's certification for cloud and ML foundations. They were really structured and good for the foundations. And obviously YouTube has almost everything, so you don't have to buy any courses online. You can actually use YouTube. And some courses from NPTEL which really helped is the Intro to ML and Machine Learning for Engineering and Science Applications. So these two courses actually gave a very good intuition behind the algorithms and how it works. These actually helped me in my interview when questions were asked related to my core knowledge on ML. And I would suggest you to read Medium articles and research papers. At least try to implement one research paper during the course of your 4 years. Why I'm saying this is because when you do that, you actually end up searching a lot in the internet about formulas, implementations, about some concepts that you don't know. So overall, when you try to implement a paper, at the end, you will actually know so many concepts you wouldn't have even anticipated that you will be learning this many concepts, right? But then you will actually learn a lot in that process. And another certification that really helped is the Oracle Cloud Infrastructure Certified Generative AI Professional. So this is a global certificate. This gave very good foundational knowledge on LLMs and RAG. And there are some free courses in deeplearning.ai website for AWS. And for full stack web development, I mostly use documentations. I didn't go through it any much of courses. I used we have AI tools, right? So you can actually use that to learn. You don't have to particularly take up any courses. I'll answer the questions at the end, just a few minutes. So some of the myths that you would have heard is obviously, guys, can you mute? Okay. Um, so CGPA is not important. That is one very big myth that you would have heard. I would say that's a big no, because CGPA does matter. I'll say a lot of instances for that. So first thing is lot of shortlisting happens through CGPA. Second thing, CGPA will actually help you get scholarships. That is for your own personal use. And third thing, guys, can you please mute yourself? Yeah, thank you. So CGPA, obviously, apart from shortlisting for your personal use, it will be really helpful. And when you put CGPA in your resume, uh, so people who see your resume for the first time will see your resume. So let us say you don't have much of projects or much of internship experience, but you have a very good CGPA, right? So when you put CGPA, when the interviewer sees it, they'll actually know that you are good at what you do. So your task as a college student is to excel well in your academics, right? So if you are able to score good CGPA in your academics, then that gives a very good indication that you are able to do what you are assigned to do, right? That's simple logic. I don't have to go in depth with it. So CGPA is important. Maintaining a CGPA above 9 is bare minimum. uh, Anything above 9 should be must. So there are so many instances where CGPA helped me. I was in the spotlight because of CGPA. Many people got to know me because of CGPA. So I would say CGPA is must. You have to make sure that you boost your CGPA above 9. That will be really helpful. And DSA and coding alone won't help you land jobs. That is another thing that I already covered. So there are so many people in my friend groups, and I know so many people who are really good at DSA and coding, and they are even better than me, but they are not able to land jobs. And I wouldn't say why that reason is, because you should know there are so many other skills apart from DSA and coding. Uh, One simple example is your communication skill, and the other thing is how you are able to think, how you are able to navigate a problem. That is another important thing. And the third thing is how you are able to explain something to someone who doesn't know, right? So let us say you are in a room, you are conversing with other person. So let us say you are asking a doubt to a person and he explains it to you back. Now you would assess him based on the way he explained it to you, right? So if you are not able to understand what he's trying to say, you would simply say that okay, he is not able to understand, like explain it well. That is the same mindset with interviewers and wherever you go. So it does matter how you convey your thoughts, and whatever you have in your mind, the right way of conveying it really matters a lot. It matters a lot more than coding and all the technical knowledge that you have. It matters how you approach people, right? How you interact with people. So that is another important skill that you should have. So let us say when there is a new person who comes into your team, right? You should make sure that they feel welcome. When you go to corporate later, this skill will really help. So when you go as a newcomer, you will also feel that everyone should come and talk to you, everyone should make you feel welcome. The same way the other people will also feel, right? So you should also be open to them, open to learn. So that is the way you go about it, right? So DSA and coding alone will not help you land jobs. You should be really good at communication. You should be really good at understanding the other person in front of you. If it's a one-on-one conversation, you should know what the other person is expecting, and you should be the one to deliver it. I mean, you should know how to deliver it. The person will not ask, they'll not ask so many questions. They'll just ask one question, and it is your job to perfectly put it to them in such a way that they actually understand it, right? The next myth that you would have heard is college subjects aren't useful for placements. That's another myth. uh, why I'm saying this is because so we have this core subjects, right? DBMS, OOPS, OS, and computer networks. So whatever the curriculum covered in our college, that was more than enough to crack most of the interviews, because obviously they would ask us to study through the books, right? But you don't even have to do that. What you can do is you can actually take that concepts, and if you can search it in the internet and read it, that is more than enough. So for the core subject preparation, you don't have to spend separate time. Whenever your college subject is being covered for that particular topic, you can actually go home evening, take 30 to 45 minutes for that, and you can easily complete half of the unit in one day. You don't have to spend separate time for the core subject preparation. And another myth that you would have heard is that raw talent beats consistency. That is completely a myth. I would say why that is the case. So, uh, let us say there is a person who knows, who is very good at coding, who has good technical skills, and there is another person B who is just starting. Okay, so over a period of 1 year, or let's say, okay, let's take 1 year. Over a period of 1 year, the person with good technical skills keeps implementing, but his learning curve is not up to the mark. Okay, so he is not learning daily. Just assume this. And the person B is learning consistently for every 2 hours. Okay, so after 1 year, if you compare both of them, you would actually see that the person who actually learned every day was much better in terms of his fundamentals than the other person. Why I am saying this is because many people usually compare themselves with others, right? Okay, so this guy knows better than me. That's not the way to go about it. It's when you start to learn and be consistent, that's where the progress starts, and that's where you are actually in the right direction. So real growth actually starts when you start to be consistent. At least learn 1 hour anything, something. It doesn't have to be specific to something. So you can learn something every day that will, that will not give you immediate results, but you will see its impact when you actually go to internships, or when you do projects, or over a course of 1 or 2 years you will actually see that impact. And how, like, when you actually learn, you will see that impact in your career. And off-campus offers are not better, that some people would have heard. But then there are so many off-campus offers that are very attractive, and they offer very good pay for the freshers. And there are some ways to actually search for jobs in LinkedIn, not the conventional way where you go to jobs and then click apply jobs. That's not the way to go about it. So there are startups who are there are so many startups that are actually starting, right? So they obviously want talent, and at the same time they want people who can get their job done. So how you can apply to them is, so let us say there is a company that is working on AI, right? Applications of AI. So you can go about their company's website, see what they are doing. Take some 2 to 3 days of time. So if they are working something on AI, you could suggest, or you could see for some features that you can implement on their product, right? So you can work on that for 2 to 3 days. And what you can do is you can directly try to take their recruiter's mail or the HR's mail, and you craft a very detailed message of what you're doing, right? And why you want to do an intern. And you can also add the suggestions of how their product could be better. And if you have done any work or prototype of that, you can add a link of that too. I'll say why this is very, very different. So when you actually send it to their mail, you can get a quicker response. That's one thing. Second thing is, when they see such a mail, they'll feel that, okay, this person has actually put his time and efforts to understand the company and suggest features within this short period of time. So they'll definitely give you a try, at least. That's what I have gone through. They'll at least give you a try, and that try would be only the interview. So there won't be any DSA rounds for you, mostly in startups. So they directly call you for an interview, and that is one step closer to an offer, right? So uh, after that, it's in your hands to actually crack the interview. The other myth is that you still have time. You're just in your third, second, first year. Um I wouldn't say, uh, obviously we still have time, but I would go upon the point of being consistent every day. It doesn't matter if you are not able to see result anytime soon, but it does matter if you are sitting for 1 hour. So every 1 hour that you study, you are actually going ahead of 10 or 20 people. Think of it this way. So every 1 hour you do, you are going ahead of 10 or 20 people. You know a concept that some 10 people doesn't know. If you compound that over an year, you'll actually see absolute results. That's what I have gone through. So some of the power principles is that maintain a very good CGPA. Above 9 is must. At least when you're in the college, it will help you a lot. Then learning consistently is the key to success. Never stop learning, as I already said. So I have just mentioned similar to stocks. So if you are investing in long time, you wouldn't see the results immediately, but when you actually wait for a consistent period of time, and if that stock performs well, you will actually get a good return, right? So that's exactly what I'm trying to say for learning. And network, and feel free to reach out to seniors, professors, or your peers and ask for help without any hesitation. Because see, you don't have to have this mindset that whether should I go and ask them, whether should I go and ask this guy, that guy, what they would think of me. Don't have that hesitation at all. Feel free to reach out to anybody about any help. People will be willing to help. If they are not helping, that's fine, but if they are, they'll be definitely willing to help. So feel free to reach out to seniors or professors, and never say no to an opportunity. You will learn a ton from experience. The other point is, learn to sell yourself, be bold and confident. This is very, very, very important, because as I said, uh, basically when you go to an interview, the interviewer knows nothing about you. He only has your resume, right? So from that point of time, it's your job to sell yourself. You are the advertiser for you. So you have to tell them what you have, what you can deliver, how strong you are for that particular role. It's in your wordplay that matters. So it's solely on your words, how you talk, how you convey message, how you convey your thoughts, how you convey what you have. All those things matter a lot. See, let us say you are so good at technical skills, but you are not able to tell that to an interviewer. They will never be able to understand what you have. So your true potential will come out only if you are able to put it out in a way that the other person will understand. And you should be confident about yourself and bold. Obviously that will really help. And keep your study circle relevant to your goals and targets. Make sure you don't get distracted. Have a circle of people who are having similar goals and targets, so that you will always be focused and you don't have other things to get distracted upon. And then make sure your faculties and FA know that you are skilled and one of the best students in your class. Why I'm saying this is because there are some opportunities, research projects or other internships that come through FA. And if your FA doesn't know that you are skilled, then it is of no use, because your FA should know that you are skilled and one of the best students in your class. Another important thing is be active on your Gmail. That is very important, because when you are in your placement season, you'll have tons of mails coming from each company every day. So I have had friends who actually missed the deadline because they missed to check their mail. So that is very crucial, right? So if you miss your mail of company's process, you are not going to be able to apply for it anytime soon. So be active on your Gmail, and be available in college when you get shortlisted for any company. This is for people who are outside Tamil Nadu. So if at all you are planning to go to your home, make sure that you are actually available for the long weekend when you have applied. So make sure you don't miss any process here. And there is an unconventional way of applying to startups in LinkedIn. I already discussed about it. So you get more information about the company, you learn more about how the company works, and you try to suggest your ideas either in terms of prototype or just bullet points of how you could improve. That could land you a better chance to get an interview, or even directly get hired for an intern. And from there, it's all about your performance. So this is one way to actually what do you call it? So there is this traditional process, right? You have a coding assessment, you have 2 rounds of technical interview, and then you actually have to clear the HR, and then finally you get an offer letter. That's how the process is traditionally. But if you actually want to cut down on most of the process and directly get an interview, this is one way to go about it. So you directly text the recruiters or the HRs with your ideas and on how to improve their product. That could really give you some limelight. Yeah, that's all I have for my session. So if you have any questions, you can ask. So uh,
Hello.
can we use deep
Yeah.
learning for LLMs or deep learning? Can you be more specific? I couldn't understand your question. What do you mean? Can we use deep learning? Yeah, absolutely. Like, they have this simple way of explaining the fundamentals, right? So uh, once you start with your fundamentals, and once you're good with your fundamentals, then you can actually progress to actually read articles and stuff. So for starters, it's good. For first time, learning DSA would be better than web. So see, another important thing, when you are starting from a college, there is nothing as separately DSA and separately web dev. Don't do that. I would say you should give equal preference to everything. So DSA, obviously you need to crack interviews. Go to the interviews. You need to clear your online assessment. That's where most people get stagnated and they're not able to go to the interview. So DSA is must. Try to solve at least one question a day, and web dev is also must. So whatever skills you are able to learn during your 4 years, that is going to be benefiting you, right? So there is nothing like you focused one semester on this and the other semester on that. Make sure you are able to learn multiple skills at a time and consistently learn them. Also for hackathons, how can we increase our chances for winning? See, that's what I said. I mean, you don't have to uh, have the mindset of winning it first, but if you want to increase the chances, again, as I said, uh, in most hackathons, there will be a pitch round, like you have to do a pitch. So there it is more about how you uh, present or pitch your product. As I already said, you have to learn to sell yourself, right? Similarly, you should be able to learn to sell your product. So whatever you have built, it wouldn't be perfect because you are just building it in a day. It won't be perfect, but it is really important on how you actually pitch your product, pitch what you have done in a very commanding way. So that is one simple way to increase your chances of winning. Internship at the end of second year at summer vacation will be better. Yeah, I mean, if you get internship, it is better anytime, right? It doesn't have to be at the second year end. But if you get any internships during your first year end, that is still good. That is still way better because you actually started your journey way before everyone does. So there is no specific time, but make sure you are learning wherever you go. I'm emphasizing on that very much. So make sure you learn. That will show, that will give an impact somewhere, not today or not tomorrow, but definitely you'll see an impact of that. So that is it. And then second year and good school. So from where to start and next class works. Okay, so you have good CGPA, but I truly don't understand from where to start. So if you have good CGPA, that's good. That's really good. And so obviously, college works will be there. College studies will be there. Assignments, projects, reviews, everything will be there. For CGPA, to maintain CGPA, it's fairly simple. You just learn 2 to 3 days before the exam, and that's enough for that. Apart from that, at least try to find some 2 hours after college. So either you will have college in the morning or in the afternoon. So if at all you have it in the morning, you have the entire afternoon and evening for your preparation. So you can take some good rest, then find some 2 hours where you can actually put your efforts for learning. So just have this inner mind, right? So if you already asked about DSA, so uh, just have 1 hour to solve one DSA question and another 1 hour to learn any new concept that is related to your field. So if you are learning something related to ML, learn any one concept for that 1 hour or any few concepts for that matter. So what this would do is you can actually um, structure your way of learning. You can't find uniform time every day, so you can't be free at every day at 7 to 8. That can't happen because we'll have other works as well. But what I would say is cumulative hours should be 1 hour or 2 hours for each day, so that will be better. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. I can actually answer your queries separately also. One more question is, I'm dedicating daily 1 hour DSA, 1 hour new skill, and 1 to 1 queries necessary. Okay. Are there any companies using on-campus placement where they just recruit you based on your skills, like if you're very good at particular skill? See, on campus, if they are uh, in on campus, 99% of companies hire through DSA and then interviews. The reason is because we have a huge crowd at SRM, and there should be some way for them to filter out candidates, right? That's the harsh reality today. You can't see, they can't sit and interview 3,000 people. That's not feasible for them. So they would only want to pick around 50 to 60 people for interview. One criteria for that is this online assessment. It's as simple as that. So if you are sitting for on campus, clearing online assessment is a must. So for that you will need DSA. But if you are trying off campus, new startups, or some, there are some companies who has this unconventional way of hiring people. So if you are able to find those startups, you wouldn't need DSA. There, what you can do and what you can deliver to the company, that's what matters. Any other questions? We don't in this class of policies and so. I mean, see, for college, you don't have an entire day. You don't have to sit in college for the entire day, right? It's either 8 to 12:30 or 12:30 to 5, and you may have some lab hours in between. So when you complete your college works, you can actually allocate 1 to 2 hours to learn something. That could be anything, but make sure you are covering a bit of DSA, a bit of ML or AI. That is must today. And you can actually get started with full stack web development as well. Combining ML and full stack is going to be a good advantage for you, uh, because everyone either specializes only in ML or only in full stack. So when you are able to combine both of these, that will be way better than, and it will give you better chance to stand out. But yeah, if you're not able to, you should be able to manage your time, right? So you will have enough time after your college. Some days you won't have, but you have to make sure that you compensate it in your weekends. So Saturday and Sunday you'll have, like, you fully have Saturday and Sunday, right? You can sit for 3 to 4 hours, grind DSA and learn any concepts. So you can actually track the amount of learnings that you have done over a course of time. You will realize, right, that okay, I've done this much, I have to do this much. So it's more about how you track what you have done. And it's not that you don't find time and all. You will actually have time, and some days you would have extra works from your college. That's fine. And let's say if you are caught up in your college work for one day, make sure you compensate it on Saturdays or Sundays. So that's the way. And one more important thing I missed to cover. So uh, posting on LinkedIn is one thing that is very important. Why I'm saying this is because when I was preparing the slides today, I actually kind of lost track on what I did from my first year. So when I actually went to LinkedIn, I actually was able to see what and all I did. So I was able to make the presentation better. So why I'm saying this is when you start to post your accomplishments or your learnings on LinkedIn, it not only lets others know that you are continuously doing something, but it is also a self tracking for you to see where you stand, how you can improve, and how you can actually go about learning and going ahead, right? So when you actually look back, do consistent LinkedIn posting for 1 to 2 years, and then when you look back, you'll actually see the growth in yourself, right? People should also know that you are able to do stuff, right? You can't just have it to yourself. Other people in LinkedIn should also know that this guy is working in this project, he's learning this stuff. So when you keep building your profile, when somebody else is visit your profile, then they'll be able to see, okay, this is how his career path has started. So you are giving them some way to actually assess you, right? So LinkedIn is one good platform for that. And apart from that, when you actually go for startups and all, they'll actually see your LinkedIn as well. So if you are able to document your works and accomplishment well in your LinkedIn, that will be a good plus. Since which that means to also, I mean, see, even today, nobody can know everything, right? So full stack is like big ocean, and we only know few buckets, right? So it's not like you can master them and then go to other tech, right? It is more about realizing that there is always improvements, there is always innovation coming up every day. You can't keep up with every one of them. So it's important how much of depth you know in each of the concepts. So let us say you start front end or you take up back end, right? uh, it doesn't matter if you're if you know everything, they used to say this, you don't have to be a jack of all trades, you should be a master of at least one thing. So you should make sure that you know everything side by side, but at the same time you should know them in the right way. Like, what I mean to say is, you should know the right fundamentals, the right way to implement something, and as time goes you can actually learn them side by side. If that's not comfortable for you, you can start with one skill at a time. Let's say ML. Start with the foundations, learn algorithms, how it works, mathematical intuitions behind that, and once you're familiar with that, you can actually try to implement some projects, some basic ones. It doesn't have to be complex as well. You can actually start to implement them, and that's when you can actually start. So when you start ML and then you feel like you need a web interface, you can start with your front end, right? So you can learn HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and then start with React or Angular, whichever is comfortable for you. So that's how you go about it. If you're okay with uh, parallel learning, it is really good. But if you're not comfortable with it, initially start with one skill, and then as you go you can actually learn other skills. You don't have to know everything in that. You can't do that. I mean, you can't know everything in one tech stack. There is always innovations coming up every day. So, but having a mix of different skills is a definite plus. You don't have to, there is no debate on that. My fifth sem, I'm thinking of starting full stack later combined with ML, but I'm going to be slowly tech stack. See, tech stack, there is nothing like you should do this tech stack or that tech stack. Uh, I would say the tech stack is more about, uh, so it's more about what you are able to do. It doesn't matter through what you are doing. Right? What I meant to say is, so for DSA, they would ask, should I do with C++ or Java? Right? It doesn't matter what, how you are doing it. It matters that you are doing it. So when you go to organizations, there will be a mix of every tech stack. So you can't confine yourself to just one tech stack, right? Let's say for Django, one organization may have Django for backend, some implementations, but other organizations may have other backend for like Spring Boot or Java for that matter. So what I'm trying to say is, whichever tech stack you're comfortable in, you can get started with that. You don't have to be very what do you say, conscious about what tech stack to choose. But yeah, it does matter when you apply for specific roles. Specific backend technologies are required. For example, there was a company recently, they wanted Go developers, right, for backend. So at that point, people who learned Go were able to apply for that. But it doesn't mean you have to confine yourself to one tech stack. Any sites you would suggest for internships? I mean, for internships, you have LinkedIn. LinkedIn is one very good place to get internships. I haven't tried applying for internships in other websites, so I don't have any suggestions. LinkedIn is a good place. So LinkedIn is really a good place for that. Do we need necessary to work in startup things if you want to? I mean, see, it's all about how you show yourself differently from others, right? Uh, so there are a crowd of 3,000 to 4,000 people. You should be able to show what you have and how you are different from others. So for that, everything that you can do will help. So doing internship at a startup, you will actually learn to quickly adapt. There are so many takeaways that you will have from a startup. So every time you do something, internships, hackathons, projects, you will get better than what you were before. So it is necessary to work in startup. It's not that it is compulsory, but if you are able to find a work in a startup, it's really good. How did you apply it for ISRO Samsung internships? For ISRO, there is an application form in their official portal. So you have to fill it up with a research proposal. They would actually ask you what tech stacks you have worked on, and they would ask you a research proposal in 2 lines and a brief explanation of how would you implement that. So once you fill it up, if they find that they need your requirement, they would take you for the internship. And for Samsung, it is actually through college. If you come to your third year, you will actually have something called Samsung Prism. So you will have an online assessment round, after which you will actually be shortlisted to work on the internship. Any other questions?
I hope so. Every question has been answered. Is anyone wants to ask any other questions? Uh,
If at all you have any questions, you can feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn or WhatsApp. Uh, I'll be happy to help.
if you can just give your LinkedIn or how they can communicate, if you can give it in your
Uh,
chat box so that these people, if they have doubt, they can just call you and ask. Yeah.
Shared my LinkedIn profile. You can check it out. You
Yeah.
can text me there if you have any queries.
Okay. Thank you, Abhilash, for spending your time. And even your juniors have asked many questions so that they can get the answers from you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you, participants. So each week we used to conduct a placement talk. If you want to join, you can join and you can ask questions to the seniors. So who will take the uh, placement talk? Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, Abhilash.
Thank
Thank
you,
you, ma'am.
Abhilash. Thank you.
Hello. I guess your LinkedIn message option is disabled. I can't really